1 Million Cups is a nonprofit organization that was started by the Hoffman Foundation 5 years ago. And it has since grown to 115 chapters. Dallas is one of the top 10 chapters for 1 Million Cups. We're pretty proud of that. And a large part of that is thanks to the great community that we have here and you guys for coming out today. So thank you for coming out. If you have had the chance to download the 1 Million Cups app, it's pretty cool, and you can use it to check in. If that's too much work for you, we do have a sign-in sheet, and that does help us learn more about you guys so that we as a volunteer organization can give back more to the community. So that helps us out a lot, and it helps us help you, so thank you for that. Today we have a couple of great presentations, and the first presentation we have today, if you could stand up and give a round of applause for ToolRent and Sherwood Avery. Thank you.
I'm Sherwood, I work with ToolRent. I appreciate your time. Thanks for listening to me talk about my company. What we do is pretty simple. We take people's surplus tools, idle tools, and we put them back on the market for rent. Thank you. It's surprising how many tools are out there just sitting in people's garages and driveways and stuff like that. Trailers are one of our big things, skid steers and a bunch of other stuff that just contractors, everyday people need and want. So anyway, we say that we're tool rentals a constant small business field. It's because we emulated Airbnb's platform almost to the T, and they did a really good job with their software and getting people involved, talking to each other, letting the owners of the tools handle all the business and kind of help us out. So we are on the App Store, Google Play, and the web. We're still developing. It's a pretty extensive website so far. It's been a year and a half in development, so it's going along. Nice. Okay, so we started in 2015. I'm an Airbnb superhost. I have been for 8 quarters now. I have a house that I rent out by the room. I have 5 bedrooms, and so we got sort of the culture from that. And then I also have a car that I brought my little brother back in the day. It's a Jetta, and we rent that out on Turo. If y'all know what Turo is, it does the same thing with cars. And then I have a small construction company called Task, and we owned a bunch of tools, and I started renting out tools from that, off of Craigslist and different things like that. My first start was to find a developer, and actually, funny enough, he used to hang around here. I didn't meet him here, but he always used to talk about this place, and he always used to try and push me to get to this place. I was just so busy all the time, so this is one of my first times here, I'm going to admit. So anyway, we spent a year in development. It took us a while to get the Android app going, and then the web platform going, and all of that. And we didn't have ToolRent at first either. We used to call it Every Task. Since my company is called Task, we used to call it Every Task. So that was our MVP right there, and that hit Google Play November 11th of last year. And so as soon as that started to hit, I was able to kind of facade my company as a tech company, and that got people excited. And so we were really just a brick and mortar rental house for a long time, but we were saying that we were this app, making people walk through the app, even though it wasn't running. So we were trying to get the habits back into tech, because we really want to be a tech company. So that was for a while there. Here's some of our team. Me and then the developer, I call him the super tech genius because he takes all of our ideas and he just figures out how to get them onto the platform. We've got special features, in-app chat, we've got price negotiation, all of these features that allow people to be people and just continue to rent tools and make it super easy for tool rentals. So the other guy is my brother. He was there when I came up with the idea, and he had some, this is him right here. He was there when I came up with the idea, and we inherited some money from my grandmother. It wasn't too much, but he leveraged it all, so he was there right from the get-go. So he did that. Steve Rimpus, he's a dentist out of Chicago. He runs 11 different businesses, and I've known him for about 10 years now. He liked the idea as well, so he gave us a little bit of cash to kind of help us boost along too. Constant support, the guy's just a genius as well. Then Nick, he's 19 years old, and the kid is just a tool hustler. He, all day long, just hustles tools, gets it to everybody. He just constant, 24/7. And then the last guy who saves our ass all the time is Devin, and he's like the in-house mechanic, and he's the welder. People mess up stuff, you know, it just happens with tool rentals. Construction's rough. This guy just keeps us moving all the time, so he's pretty key too. So a pretty small team, but we work out pretty well. We have an office now these days. It's in Garland. We house some of the tools there. We move some of the tools there. We fix the tools there. We do some of that kind of stuff. So that's what that is. Today, we have all 3 platforms live, right? We're still under construction. It's still mainly a brick and mortar rental house. Some people are using the app. We're starting to use some of the features in the app, get people going. We have 45 tool owners, 350 tool renters, right? So you can kind of see some of this. Stripe does a really good job of giving you analytics of everything. It's my first company to have analytics of everything. It's almost a little stressful. When I had a construction company, you know, it was so much was just left to chance. You know, I was just doing all the finances myself. This one shows you by the minute. It's crazy. You get addicted to just watching it. So anyway, 742 payments. Last month was our first month, the top 50K in tool rentals. Yeah, so. That's a lot of Nick and myself, tool hustling pretty good, 24/7 kind of deal, like really going at it. People are starting to upload their tools in different states, New York, Florida, Chicago, London. Some of our advertising is on, Instagram, and so you can't really control that, right? So everybody just sees it, so we had to control it just to allow rents in Texas, but people can upload from wherever. And so we get some tools in random spots. None of them are really rented yet because we haven't turned it on. And we had no business in doing that. But as we grow, I mean, it's just exciting to see it. Then the last one is we're making friends with Google. Some of these are like our secrets, and we have some competition out there, and I don't necessarily want it to get out there, and that sounds super lame. But like we're making pretty good friends with Google. We're doing some creative things, and you know, trying to be different just a little bit. Our market validation. So like a couple of our competition is Yard Club, right? They were backed by Caterpillar for $10 million. They only rent Caterpillar equipment, and so that kind of limits them in my opinion. Probably the biggest one is EquipmentShare.com. They kind of have a good name, just like ToolRent. They got $5.5 million from Romulus, and but they take the contractors' tools away, place them on their yard. They also bought a bunch of their own tools. So with ToolRent, I try and say that we're the largest tool rental company that doesn't own any tools. And then the industry is $39 billion. There's like 10,000 contractors, and then hundreds of rental companies in Texas. So big market, big market. So, I think that's it.
Okay, thank you. So what we do now is take 15 minutes for a Q&A, and the first question is, what can we do for you?
Upload tools, you know, just keep uploading tools, talk about it, I guess. Are you talking about this community right here? Yeah?
Yes.
I'm sure somebody owns tools out there. Just jump in, put your tool on there, make some money. What's going on?
Hi, thanks for the presentation, and also thanks for coming out to the deck. It's great to have you here. Can anyone use this, or what's your target demographic for people that are buying and selling? Can I only rent large machinery, or can I, if I have a saw in my closet, can I put that on your platform?
Yep, so we have sewer snakes, drills, concrete saws, a lot of the little stuff rents, pole saws, chainsaws, you know, a lot of that kind of stuff rents. We have this guy that doesn't want to buy any of his own tools, a handyman, and we give him incredible deals, you know, he just keeps coming for a drill, and we'll give it to him for $7, and he's just over and over and over again, you know, so it was just sitting there.
So just to follow up on that, I'm sure when you set out to launch this, you had a persona in mind or a demographic in mind. Now with analytics being available to you, have you profiled who's actually using, on both sides from this platform, who's putting up equipment and who's renting, and how accurate your own prediction or guess of what your persona is?
Right, so the obvious answer would be the contractor, right, who owns all the tools. You want to get the contractor who's not always working every single day. But a lot of just regular homeowners and DIYers will buy that tool for that one gig, right? There's just those people that don't want to rent anything, and they'll buy that one thing, and there's a whole bunch of those. So we kind of had both, I guess. I don't know, I was in Airbnb super hard, so I saw a lot of those people, you know, and just started realizing that people wanted to move their stuff, and so there's a lot of, it's almost everybody. I don't know, I don't want to say everybody and be super broad, you know, but it's a lot of people. So.
I got a question. How do you think you compete with a more traditional tool rental like Home Depot? And do you think you can steal people from that market who don't even get online to rent tools?
So yeah, right now we're getting what I call the shoppers, the people that are looking around for different ways to rent. Home Depot is sort of expensive, United Rentals is sort of expensive, Sunbelt, the big national chains are sort of expensive. Even like the local or smaller businesses like AA Rentals and like these ones that are mom and pops are sort of expensive. And when the homeowner adds their own tool, they get to pick their own price, right? And people are much happier with like 30, 40, 50% lower than the other things. So we're cheaper, we're open 24 hours a day. We have like in-app chat, right? So they can chat directly with that homeowner. And if you can get people on the phone, and most people have their phone on them a lot, you know? So if you can get them on the phone, it's just like Airbnb. Like when I get a new request at like 3 o'clock in the morning, you know, I'm answering it, you know? So I've done that at night too with tools, you know, people's tools break down at like midnight, you know, and I'll just run out of the house and go drop off a tool. So it lies on the tool owner, you know, so.
Wait, one more question. Do you have to drop off the tool to the person renting? They don't get it?
No, they can come pick it up. I charge people to drop it off, and if you're on the job site, like as a contractor, it's kind of a pain in the butt to go out of the way, you know, and it's an inefficiency, and you just don't like that feeling as a contractor. So if I can drop it off to you and I get paid, then they're much happier too. So.
Is there a direct
Yeah,
buy
one
option?
second.
Oh, sorry.
Wait.
Sorry, my name is Nick. My question was kind of along the lines of his, but instead of competing with the Home Depot or more importantly the Sunbelts out there, have you thought about partnering up with them or getting them on your website? You know, kind of getting their customer traffic onto your platform instead of competing directly.
So there's a re-rental program. Big rental houses do it too. Like if they run out of equipment, it's called a re-rental program. And so I've been going to these big houses and doing re-rentals. So Texas First is Caterpillar's like re-rental or like their rental platform or their rental company, I guess. And so we tried to do it with them. They found us as direct competition eventually. They shut us down. I like took the stickers off my truck, put it in a different name, kept renting from them, you know, and then like would do it that way. But we finally found a couple of those people that were like smaller but still pretty decent size, like Landmark Equipment, who has like 17 million assets. They have Waxahachie, Irving, Fort Worth, and different locations, a bunch of drivers, mechanics, and everything like that. And they give us good enough prices that we re-rent too from them. So we are trying to adapt our software into their software because they're straight brick and mortar warehouse, you know, like old, like 50 employees in there selling and a bunch of, you know, basic stuff.
Yeah, I got a question for you. My name is Matthew Chernowski, and my question is about purchasing. Can they direct purchase and rent to purchase also?
No, not on my website. No, I haven't ever sell or do that. We were just focused on renting.
Thank you.
My question is about this being a platform. Obviously, scaling is what you're after and you want to scale it. What I heard, and correct me if I'm mistaken, that you're open and you're probably not pushing back on some of the, let's say, temptations of going into a few other revenue streams like the dropping off of a piece of equipment. I mean, how scalable do you think you are given where you are today and given that you're going into different activities that may or may not be actually scalable, so they may stand in the way. Can you take us into where you see this and how you see it scaling? Because platforms do have to scale, otherwise they're not as powerful as they, you're taking Airbnb as an example.
So as the platform gets better and the features get more in tune, right? So we want features like that check-in photos and videos that like Turo has before and after rents, right? So we can kind of keep track of that. But most people that own tools have their own habits of like taking care of their tools and their availability and their drop-offs, and they can set all that in app. So the more the software becomes user-friendly over time, the more it's scalable. Right now, it's got no before and after photos, right? It doesn't have like some of the features that I think personally that can go nationwide. That's why we're still here in Dallas, as a facade as a tech company. But as the tech goes, I think we'll be scalable.
I'm trying to professional scale from your side to really professionalize some of the features you mentioned.
So say that one more time.
From an operations standpoint, how scalable you can operate a few features today that could be added in your team, if there are opportunities market.
Can you repeat that to the mic, please?
I mean, I'm talking about your ability to scale from an operations standpoint. If you have some features that are taxing your team today, like dropping off, for example, and a few other, maybe welding and so on, that's a lot of overhead from an operations standpoint, and you may not be able to scale with that. So that was my question. Not on the app being uptaken by the uptake of the app by users, that can go viral, and there are ways to do that. Talk about the business model itself being scalable from an operational standpoint mainly.
I see what you're saying, like drivers and mechanics and offices
Yes,
and everything.
I mean, that's
really
an
don't
operational
plan.
headache,
Yeah, really don't plan on having too many more of those, right? So we're really trying to leverage the user and their habits. They own that trailer already. They own that truck already. So if somebody rents on that, then if they want to drop it off, then they can drop it off. And if somebody breaks it right and there's before and after photos, they're probably gonna have a mechanic shop. So right now, it'll be an analog process of them getting an estimate, and us back charging the customer. We keep credit cards and all their information on file. So we try and be as much of a brick and mortar warehouse as we can, but as we get bigger, all that'll be in app, and so we will be scalable from an operations point.
I mean, in startups like that, some people talk about it and the need, and actually it's a very strong need for some discipline in the activities involved in launching a startup and hacking its growth. Could you take me through the product or how you designed your offering? Because what concerns me, and if I can offer some feedback, is the fact what you mentioned around the other adjacent kind of offering around the core offer, which is the drop off. It's really what ticked me off a little bit. Is, I mean, how disciplined were you in, how deliberate were you in offering that? Because I think related to the scalability is your discipline in maybe pushing back on some of the nice to have features, because on the long term they may offer some of the headaches that you talked about, or create an environment that's harder to control than otherwise at the early stages of the startup.
So you're just saying that we should take off?
Not necessarily. I'm wondering if that was deliberate. It was, introduced in a disciplined fashion with all the ramifications of offering some feature and not necessarily thinking about its operational, ramifications.
I guess we're too young for those sort of ramifications. We tried to offer every service that the rental house could, and then allow people to pick the services they wanted to offer. So if you had a trailer and you didn't want to drop it off and you only wanted people to pick it up, well, then that would limit your rents, and you can choose that on your own. So we're trying to give much control to the person themselves and allow them to run their own business in a stance, right? And us just offer the platform and the traffic. So.
Hi, I'm Bob. I had my first experience renting from ToolRent about a month ago with skid steer. I don't know, you might have actually picked it up, I'm not sure.
Oh, nice, very nice.
Great experience. It was competitive. What really was good for me as a homeowner, just needed a skid steer for a day, was you guys, I didn't even have to go to a rental place to do it. It was all by phone. It showed up at my doorstep. You guys picked it up. Still waiting for my deposit back, but we can talk about that. What I was curious about is if something happened while I had to the equipment while I rented it, who's responsible for getting the repair done to a piece of equipment like that? Do you guys do that for the tool owner, or is you just return it to them and then they have to take care of it, or how does that work?
So right now we are in Dallas and we're still like pretty much a brick and mortar. So we have an in-house tech, right, that we could do it. But again, I was sort of relying on the owner of that tool. Like if it did come broken, like we would accept responsibility or get responsibility of the customer. And then yeah, if you wanted to go out and get a bid, that would be the only way right now. Like if you were in let's say Chicago and you had a tool, I don't have any influences out there, so you would have to go to a shop, get it fixed, and then tell us, and we would back charge the customer. Kind of like filing a claim. So I remember you now.
Any other questions?
Hi, my name is Sagar, and my question was how are your margins on your revenue system? How much does the owner get, and how much are you making on renting?
How much does the owner make? We're keeping 25% roughly on each rent. A lot of that goes back to building the system to kind of like, keep the rents going out in different places like the office, the in-house mechanic and stuff like that. Stuff that I set up personally here for Dallas so that we could get it out to different customers. So we don't have an accountant or anything like that. We use Stripe, and so we just keep putting it back into the company and let it go.
So, as a homeowner, if I post something online and I'm like, do you have a minimum amount? Like, this is the minimum amount you can rent it for, or you can rent depending on the homeowner. Like, if I want to rent it for $1, I can do that. So you make 25 cents on that.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, we haven't set a minimum on that. You can set your own price. So whatever you want to set your price at.
Thank you.
We have time for one more question. Any other questions?
How many of the people who are renting out their own tools do you see repeatedly doing so? Or do you track that?
So we have one gentleman that has 5 pieces that I pretty much have in my house all the time now. Like, it doesn't seem like he has any work or he's bought more work for it or something like that. But if they upload their tool, most of the time they continue to come back and re-rent it. Almost every time. So we've had one guy take off one skid steer because it was sort of a limit. It was having so many headaches. We'd have to go and pick it up each and every time and have to give him like one of my skid steers for free, to kind of balance everything out. So we kind of asked him to remove his too. So eventually we'll have a quality control and more of those features that kind of like bounce out the limits and stuff like that. So.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Sherrod. That was a great presentation, and it sounds like everyone's a lot more interested in the platform now, which is great. 1 Million Cups would not be possible without our sponsors, so thank you so much to Fathom Software for providing the coffee this morning. I know I appreciate it. Our video sponsor is actually not Einfee Marketing. They were fantastic though. They were our sponsors last month. This month, our video is being done by our lovely new volunteer, Michael, in the back. He's amazing. If you could give him a round of applause, I know he'd appreciate it. Friends who couldn't make it out today, but they usually bring us tasty treats. If this is your first time here, it's worth returning just to try his delicious snacks. They're like pastries. They're not donuts. They're not a pretzel. I don't know what they are, but they're delicious. Thank you to the deck for providing this space where we're meeting at today. All of 1 Million Cups is run by volunteers, and we are at the deck because they are awesome and they're allowing us to use their space. So thank you so much to the deck. If you're interested in co-working out of here, feel free to find any of the deck workers. Rachel in the back there is waving her hand. She's fantastic. Go say hi. So thank you so much to our sponsors. Our next presenter is going to be, we should be ready for this, Lucky Pet Deals. And thank you so much for coming out. Give them a round of applause, guys.
Good morning, Dallas. Good morning. Someone is sitting in the shade today because somebody planted a tree by Warren Buffett. The reason I mention that is because I think a lot of us here are trying to make a difference. Making money is fun, but making a positive impact is meaningful. We are Lucky Pet Deals. We strive to bring the pet services to our local pet communities, to our pet parents. We do this to donate proceeds to local animal pet shelters and also build beautiful parks in our communities. Like this. Now, raise your hand if you have a pet. Who has a pet here? Now, raise your hand if you've taken your pet to the park. I know I have. And my dog, Lucky, the most adorable Boston Terrier you'll ever meet, loves it. And the reason he loves it is because he loves playing with his friends at the park. Now, how are we going to build these parks? Let me introduce you to the Pet Friendly Business Directory by Lucky Pet Deals. Here, pet parents can find local veterinary care, pet sitting, pet boarding, pet grooming, anything that you're looking for your pet. We allow our members to post products and services that they offer. They can also publish coupons, so you'll be able to find national and local coupons for your pet retailer. And also, we allow them to share their events as well, that we share and support on our social media platform. My name is Abdel Hernandez. I'm the General and Marketing Manager for the company. I have Eli Smith, our VP of Customer Relationships. Charlie Schreiner, who is our Operations Manager, couldn't make it here today, but sends his regards. And then we also have Gabby, Ava, and Deepika, which is part of our important business team as well. Couldn't be here, even though they would like to have been here. So our value proposition to our members is that we have an ever-growing online pet business, pet community with a massive, huge, ever-growing social media with thousands of followers. So we want to become the marketing partner to all of our members, help them with all their different digital marketing needs. So let's face it, the problem that we're having, or that small businesses have, is that they're getting consumed by the large national retailers. We've all seen that. So it's very important to compete online. There's an estimated 160,000 pet businesses in the US alone. And LuckyPetDealsLLC, the pet-friendly business directory, is the solution. So this is what we do. We have a paid membership model, and we also sell social media marketing, SEM, SEO, and other items as well. Here's some of our pricing here. I won't go into much details. I know we have limited time, but we're hoping to get a cash flow. We're aiming to get $258,000 by the end of year 1. At the end of year 5, we're aiming to get to the 4.6 million mark. And then just for the investors out there, if there's any investors out there, we did want to share some profitability numbers with you all today. As far as customer acquisition costs and also some of our revenue per customer, we're hoping to return a 6.5x by end of year 1 to all of our investors. So what do we need? We need to complete our leadership team. So we have our doors open. We have our doors open to new members that want to join. So if there's anybody that's really passionate for pets, that likes business, that loves to do social media, or wants to strive to do something great, be part of something amazing, the mission that we have our doors open. We also need mentorship. We need guidance and connectors. We also need sales. Who doesn't need sales here, correct? And we need some capital as well. And why do we need this? We need this to turn this, and this into these beautiful parks for our local pet community to enjoy with their pets. If you believe in the idea, I want you to please ask yourself and support us. Follow our story. Follow us on social media at LuckyPetDeals.com. I know we're going to get the question of how can you support us today, and I'll get to that in a minute. But I want to remind you that we're all here, and while making money is fun, and it's necessary and important, making a positive impact, that's meaningful. Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. That was interesting. We'll start with the first question is, what can the community do for you?
Okay, awesome. Thank you for that. Well, we do have, if you believe in the idea, please support us on Thunderclap. Support our crowdfunding efforts on thunderclap.it. You can join a lot of the supporters. We're trying to reach that 1 million mark of social reach. You can go to the website directly, or you can actually, one of the easiest ways to do it also would be to go to our pinned post on Facebook or also on Twitter. And then from that point, you're able to click on the link, click on support. It's absolutely free. It doesn't cost anything. So that would be a great thing. And then also, if anybody is open to, is looking for opportunities, sales, internships, investment, feel free to talk to us.
Great. Let's go ahead and start with some questions. We'll go start here.
Hi. I'm a little unclear. So in your graph that showed your revenue sources, you had memberships. So I'm a little unclear why I would become a member of your company, a paying customer. Do I get like hooked into a network of dog parks, or any clarify?
Oh, absolutely. That's a great question. So yes, we do have a membership model, and that's primarily for our veterinarians, our dog groomers, our dog daycare owners, just to name a few. We're aiming to get an average cost per lead of about $10, which if we've ever ran any type of digital marketing, you know that cost per lead can get quite expensive. Usually a veterinarian can run maybe $40, $50, maybe $60 per lead. So that's why you would actually want to sign up as a member. Membership's only $15, $20 per month, not bad at all. And then you also build your brand as well. We give shout outs, and that's the primary value proposition.
Hi, my name is Mackenzie. I have a clarifying question, I think. What's the first priority? Is it A, dog parks, B, a coupon site or a deals website, or 3, more of marketing efforts like an agency? Which of those is like the primary focus of Pet Deals?
Okay, excellent question. So that's very important. The priority right now for us is actually to start building our membership base. That's first and foremost. We have our sales team actually making sales calls. We have digital efforts to land on our website to get memberships. And then from that revenue, we're also able to, pay for these dog parks. So right now we're still in the startup stages. So that's one thing. And then once we get in the door with that $15, $20 membership, which is definitely valuable, then we can talk to them, hey, you know what? Let us do what we do for us, for your business. So we got a couple of customers already. We're helping them out, and then we're proving ourselves first.
So is the end result the parks?
Yes, exactly. The end results, that's our legacy. That's what we want to leave.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Before I ask my question, just by way of clarification, when you say increased membership, these are the businesses that you want to sign on this platform, correct?
Yes, that is correct. We have both the supply side, which is the businesses, and then we have our demand side, which is the general user or pet parents.
But the general user is not paying membership fees.
It's absolutely free for pet parents. Absolutely free.
So when you put the COCA, the cost of customer acquisition, was that a blended COCA acquiring both sides of the platform?
Oh, that's a great question. No, that's actually not just the members, the paid members,
Okay.
just the businesses.
And from also your revenue side, is there a slide that shows the lifetime value of whether it's a member or a general audience customer, and how are they working together over time, the LTV and the COCA? I think that would be an interest. Since you put one, I think one without the other is not going to be meaningful to potential investors. So you probably need to to offer that as well.
Excellent advice. Definitely agree. Just for the presentation's sake here, it was entrepreneurs, investors, our community that were going to be here, but definitely will have that for our investors.
Hi, thank you for the presentation. As a pet owner, thank you. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, so as a pet owner, I love your mission, and I wish you guys a lot of success. So the way I see the company is, I see it as a marketing company. Can you hear me? Okay, so I see it as a marketing company, and you basically charging your members for all the marketing tools that you guys have. So if I'm selling something related with pets, I guess that you have a series of tools that is going to kind of justify why I will pay a membership in your website. Is that correct? So guide me through the kind of marketing tools that you guys have developed, or why would anyone, pay a membership in your website? We know that the pet industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry. Why anyone would pay to be a member of your company?
Well, that's a really great question, and that's a value proposition that we sell. First of all, we have to convince people. And then second of all, we need to have proof. That proof is our current membership, so that it just snowballs. It just snowballs. So once you start getting members, you start seeing, people start seeing what you're doing for them, sharing their content, word of mouth. That's the essence of what we're doing. But yes.
Just as a follow-up, I mean, I pay Netflix to watch movies, right? So why would I pay you? What value you provide?
Right, that's again, a great question. The way we see it right now, at least, it's basic penetration strategy. Think about, Hulu, for example. Hulu years ago, just a couple years ago, you can actually go to Hulu and watch all the movies, watch all the shows. Today, you can't even find a free movie on there. Is that not right? So that's what we're doing. We're actually getting people into freemium and then moving them to a paid subscription. And then when they see, once they see that we're actually giving them business, because ultimately they want calls. They want to be seen. The dashboard has the ability to see how many views your profile has received. So that's a really good question. Thank you for that.
So I have a question about the dog parks. So how do the dog parks fit into the business model? You said that you were looking for investors for those, but you didn't say how that's going to get the 6.5x return.
Okay, great. Yeah, so that's a legacy. That's something that we're giving back to the community through our business. So the dog parks are just an outcome of what we're doing with our pet directory. That's the outcome. That's what we're giving back. Everybody gives to the shelters, which we do and support and love people that do that, but that doesn't set us apart. It's better to be different than to be better sometimes. So that's why we're doing dog parks, and that's something that we can leave. And we still yet support local pet organizations. To that.
I'm a little unclear about what it is that you actually do. Do you think maybe in a sentence or a phrase you can kind of explain that?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that one more time?
Hello?
Yes.
Okay. I'm a little confused, and it seems unclear of what the business structure actually is. Could you describe in a phrase what it is that you actually do?
Okay, yes, we're an online pet community that helps local pet merchants list their services and products on our site, and we charge them a paid monthly subscription and help them with their digital marketing efforts.
Okay, next question. Please speak up. Our microphone's dying. I have a question about how you're handling competition or potential competition. You mentioned that they join the site on the freemium, and you move them to paid. What is to stop competitors from moving in at that point and picking up your customers on the freemium?
Okay, yeah, there's several competitions. There's direct and indirect customers. Some of our direct customers, there are a couple of pet directories out there. They serve their purpose. You can find pet merchants on there. There's a couple of other competitors that are also into a little bit more niche type of items and services that they promote on their website. But what we're doing is we're just hitting it hard. We're just trying to do the best that we can. We're just using all the tools, the enterprise tools that we can use, learn from the best, and that's why we're looking for mentorships because there's a lot of activities that we can take. However, we need people, somebody that knows how to walk us in the right direction So that's how we're hoping to actually beat our competition.
Okay, right back here.
Hi, if I called you a lead generation company for pet services companies, would I be incorrect?
That would not be incorrect.
I just have a question about your general business model, and it's very interesting the fact that you say that you'll be able to create a more competitive position for the mom and pop shop against the big retailers. It's kind of a catch-22 type of situation, and I'm curious how you manage, how you plan to control that, because as you get more and more and you sign more and more members, essentially now you have created another competitive environment for the small mom and pop shops competing against each other. So now you don't have the major retailers, but now you have the small shops. So I guess I'm curious how you plan to manage that and control that as you get bigger with your customers.
That's a really great question for thought. That's I guess we will have to cross that bridge when we get there, but we hope to do it with integrity and help our clients to our utmost. Thank you.
Okay, we've got time for one more question. Anybody? Great.
I would just like to give a feedback regarding that. It just reminded me, like, once my dad said, like, a confused mind always says no. And it's like, and there's still a lot of confusion while everyone was going through questions. So if you could just simple it down, and just as you said during the startup phase, I've been there. I tried, like, with my own startup, I tried doing a lot of things. So it's like what my dad and my mentor said, like, just stick with one thing, go forward with that. As soon as it's 90% done, and then start thinking about anything else. That might be a lot beneficial for you guys. It helped me out. That was just the feedback which I wanted to put.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
All right. Thank you.
If you guys haven't received the free patch, I'm giving some of these away to you guys for being here today. Thank you for supporting us, and also 1 million cups in the deck. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much to both of our presenters. It was really great hearing about your journeys through the startup world. And thank you to you guys for coming out. Feel free to come say hi to the presenters. They'll be up at the front. If you have any questions about startups or anything like that, or you just want to say hi, next slide, please. Next slide, please. These are our lovely volunteers, and they either can't help you or they probably know someone who can, so feel free to come say hello to any of us, and thank you for coming to 1 Million Cups. Sound like it's Wednesday.